Welcome to the Real CP Show. I am your host, CP. And today's topic, students walk out at this particular Catholic high school, college preparatory place over basically blatant anti-Black Americanism rants by a varsity baseball player or players in Portland, Oregon. But I can't believe this is still happening in 2026. How many more examples does it take before more within Black Americanism stop accepting a collective of disrespect, of acting as if what is right in front of the faces of millions within American Blackism, that's it, besides certain exceptions who see through what's going on, right? See, this is what I have to say again, and I stand by what I say on this, because unfortunately, there is a non-small percentage within sectionality of American Blackism, American Black Americanism, with few exceptions, that refuse to sit there and stop accepting people's blatant disrespect. There's a difference between venting anger and saying enough. That's two separate things, right? Now watch this for a second. Now, supremacists love to hear this kind of stuff from what we would call coon sellouts.
100 years ago, kids in classrooms were taught the color of their skin was their most important characteristic. And if they looked a certain way, they were inferior. Today, kids are being taught that the color of their skin defines them again. And if they look a certain way, they're an oppressor. From colleges to corporations to our culture, people are making money and gaining power by pretending we haven't made any progress at all.
This is what supremacists and some other people do when they hear foolish infantileness rhetoric from a person that per se has the skin of Black, but the mentality is jacked off, right? This is what they do. Yeah, this is how they sound when they hear such knock-a-sockiness of rhetoric from a person you look at. They be like, hey, take a look at this Negro. Look at this Negro over here. He think he didn't made it. And then he's talking about, well, we should be talking about racism and, America not a racist country and blah, 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 blah. And you hear stuff consistently happening to numbers of people, American Blackism, on a daily basis. But they're not going to make sure they address that part of it, right? And this is why it's the insult. Because that's what numbers of people are doing every day toward Black Americans, collectively, with few exceptions, saying the Negroes don't understand. They're so full of Black pain. Many of them refuse to sit there and stop allowing this system to collectively slap their faces. And then you got the ones who slot under the generic people of color nonsense terminology, right? Marginalized communities of color, all that nonsense that is anti-Black Americanism. And they said there is not enough of those Negroes who ain't got it through their thick skulls to stop allowing people to put them in certain nonsensical infantile box like that. Because that shows people that those Negroes don't even have a collective prideness in themselves to allow people to keep putting them in some generic box. So let's go ahead and share my screen on this situation here. Now, you see the article, make sure you can see this. Students at Central Catholic High School in Portland, Oregon, stage a walkout over baseball team's racial chant, basically utilizing the N-word. Let's go ahead and play this clip. I'm utilizing this under fair use doctrine and as what I call a timepiece purpose.
Central Catholic High School students walked out this morning, days after a racist chant by a varsity baseball player. The school calls the language offensive, harmful, and against its values. Members of the Black Student Union shared with Fox 12's Leslie Dominique exactly what they claim was said and what they want done about it.
Students taking a stand. Early Friday morning, dozens at Central Catholic High School walked out demanding accountability after a racial chant controversy involving the baseball team.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
It seems like in situations like this, the school does a lot more protecting with the students who are actually doing these offenses.
We just want punishment exacted in a way where the punishment fits the crime.
The walkout comes after days of growing tension on the private school campus. Students underwent digital learning Monday and Tuesday as staff prepared to respond to the incident. A school spokesperson confirmed a racial slur was used by a varsity baseball player during a pregame cheer last week, calling it harmful, but not specifying what was said. At Friday's school walkout, leaders of the school's Black Student Union did.
The baseball team used a chant that was a call to action. It was not a word. It was not a microaggression. It was, let's get those hard R.
Senior Caleb.
It's like the mentality. I know she didn't think that things have changed. So even though it's that, oh, they part of the Black Student Union, so what? Because yes, there are some ones and there are much needed Black student unions in however sectionality of certain high schools that allow certain clubs and stuff like that. But just having, Black student union is not enough. It's the mentality. What have they been taught in their homes? And many times, unfortunately, within certain numbers within Black Americanism, right, especially some of the ones they're go-getters, they're movers and shakers. You're like, system says, Negro, please, you can never be a super mover and shaker in my country, Negro. When you drive your little fancy little car that you try to impress other Negroes, I made that car. When you get on my plane to go somewhere else, if you're trying to pretend that you more than some other Black Americans, you getting on my plane, Negro, because you so stupid, Negroes. You can't even get your own development of planes, Negro. But you keep trying to impress other Black folks. You said that's reality talk. It's how they think. So you got those kind of outdated thinking that they are so successful Negroes thinking that, well, you know what? You just have to work hard. You just have to think positive. Well, look what just happened. This is the Central Catholic High School, right? The private school, whatever it is. And on their website, this little nonsensical bingo-jocka nonsense of saying, I think it was like 37, 38% of students of color. I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? What is a student of color? Do you understand? And then, I don't go into all that. But the point I'm getting at is you have to sit there and have reality conversations with Black American students, right? You understand? You have to have reality conversations. But this system has made sure to dichotomize, to separate and agitate Black Americans from truly coming together in relationships. Now, a person can date who they want, don't care. Because it's like, if you can't even have peace among one another relationship, come on now, right? On that. But it's funny because the Black Americans, I don't know if I say Black American males, if they date someone different culture background, it's all like, hey, they Black mama. But when you have certain numbers within Black Americanism, Black women, the ones who date outside their race, it's their choice. I don't want to go in that little game, unfortunately. That's a whole different tactic in itself. So the whole point is you must also teach these Black American students reality. But at the same time, if you have certain numbers within certain parts of American Blackism, modern day as well, that some of these parents, and they can be coming from a two-parent Black American household, that means nothing if they are not teaching reality to the Black American kids, right? Because look what's happened, 2026.
Woodard says the chant has been part of a team tradition for years. In this case, students claim one player was pressured to participate as part of hazing, while coaches stood by.
No justice, no peace.
The school responded by forfeiting the April 16th baseball game. Student athletes also forfeited the April 17th game and issued a school-wide apology. According to a spokesperson, the school is now working to strengthen expectations for coaches and has brought in outside partners for a cultural review, saying in a statement, quote, "We have taken action consistent with our current policies and are continuing to hold students accountable in ways that reflect the seriousness of this situation."
Respect all and don't play at all.
Central Catholic students say they want more.
Admin here, they keep saying that their hands are tied. So we're trying to go to the next step so that we can actually get change in this school year.
You already said their hands are tied. That means Negroes, we don't care about you. Do you understand?
That next step, taking their demands to the Archdiocese of Portland. They're calling for varsity players to be removed from the team, JV to take over, mandatory anti-racism and anti-hazing training for coaches, and a revision of the student handbook.
This foolishness, this is jargonisticness. You think those same people and those coaches, the ones applies to however other personnel, you think they don't understand about racial racism toward Black Americanism? They instigate this kind of stuff. They teach their other students this kind of stuff like that. Or they teach their child or children or their cousins or nephews or nieces. You understand that?
I just hope that from this that we will continue to just stay inspired and continue to just fight for what is true and what is right.
Oh, and by the way, the name, let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back.
That
Handbook.
I just hope that from this.
That name is not Black American, not even close to it. See, this is also a whole very important tactic that unfortunately numbers within Black Americanism haven't still got it through certain skulls on that. You can't just jump up and down because I'm out of the skin of Black. That is irrelevant. Not even close to Black American name. There are variables, of course, on that. Say somebody's name is Susan Kopanaka. You'd be like, what kind of name? That's not a Black American. Well, that person probably could be married to a different cultural concept, right? Well, okay, you saying that. What about her? Please stop. You know how the small variable that is on that situation? So we're not going to play that tactic.
That we will continue to just stay inspired and continue to just fight for what is true and what is right.
Justice delayed is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied.
The Black Student Union says it's working to set up a meeting with the Archdiocese to share their requests for disciplinary action. For now, reporting in Southeast Portland, Leslie Dominique.
And it are this right here. The outright, again, infantile response on this situation. These people knowing exactly what they were doing and allowing this anti-Black American racial racism N-word usage by however personnel within that big baseball team, whatever it is. And the sad part about it is that there are still certain numbers of people, personnel within certain parts of American Blackism that refuse to sit there and see this truth on this situation. And this is why this is going to continue to keep happening. And they're going to continue to keep insulting like this system. Right? Because unfortunately, numbers of Black American students, and unfortunately, even quite a number of Black American college students are told to don't pay attention to race. It's like, we pay attention. How you going to not pay attention to race when it's constantly in your face? Only a fool forgets about that. And again, they look at numbers of Black Americans saying, those stupid Negroes. Right? You see how this game goes. Because they know it's not enough Black Americanism type personnel modern day to say, you know what? they've had about enough of this racial racism, terrorism going on for Black Americans, adults, and these kids. In this situation in Portland, Oregon, for some people, you said, just look it up. Portland, Oregon, you're talking about the small amount of Black Americans in Portland, Oregon. And even in that video you saw a minute amount of B regardless of Black skin in generalness, right? Because you know how small their demographics would be at this school too, of Black Americans. Not the skin of Black. We're not going to play that tactic. Too many times people have fled under within generic Black, right? And they pick out, I'm Black. Then with other different Black pain things come up, they're no longer, they're not Black then. Do you understand? They're of this culture or their tribe of that particular place. Do you understand? 2026. Black kids pain is still happening. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.